I want to address a couple of topics that has popped up recently. Uh, there's a channel that I subscribe to. I can't pronounce the channel's name. I think it's like new new move Vez, Numuves. And he put out a great video showing the very large protests in China by the public. And, there was one where students were protesting about a merger for schools, and the other one was about the Evergrande, real estate scandal in China. The one that's been all over the news and so on and so forth, and there's so much misinformation and disinformation, and basically, framing it to put a very, very negative light, and a lot of other crap in there. And so you should check out that video. Also, he puts a small clip of that idiot Serpent Z and Lao Wao, two racist, bigoted, small-minded, evil little trolls, who unfortunately have a massive following, which says a lot about the people who pay attention to these idiots, and not a good light, for them. And the other one is Noam Chomsky. Now, I used to hold a lot of respect for Noam, but Noam Chomsky, I did, and but the more and more I learn about Noam, and I think I've done videos about him before, kind of poo-pooing Noam. And the thing is the more and more I learn about him, the more and more discrepancies I see and hear about him and read about him, the more and more I'm inclined to be very, very negative about Noam, and deeply lose respect for this guy. I don't know there's a few other great thinkers, and I've seen a lot of indication that Noam has actually taken a claim for that manufacturing consent, and I stress the word taken, because it sounds like it wasn't Noam wasn't the original originator of that whole manufacturing consent thesis. And so, and then there's the constant, every single time there's a presidential race or some sort of other political race, he always seems to go to the lesser of two evils crap, and always seems to push for the Democrats, which like Like, for instance, Trump and Biden. I mean, Biden has been in politics far longer. He's done more. He's pushed more fascist, authoritarian policies. He's demonstrably criminally corrupt. He should have been in jail a long time ago. He never should have been allowed into being a representative of any sort or a leader of any sort. Biden has done more damage to the working people, to minorities, especially the black and Hispanic. Biden is a scumbag through and through. And right now, Biden and his cohort of evil thugs are pushing, in what I believe, through a lot of looking into, a very, very hostile policy and potentially high potential for a hot war with China. I'm basing this on his policy choices and his purely self-serving political agenda. What he says, that's not reported and so on and so forth, that's meaningless. It's what he says, and even what he says in front of the camera or to somebody who writes for the so-called press. He does the exact opposite, and so this is provable through and through. And so Biden is a criminal scumbag who should have been in jail, if not executed, for his policies who have harmed, killed, and made destitute so many millions, in fact, or all the wars that he has promoted. And this is the guy that is supposed to be the savior, and Trump is the fascist who's gonna. Don't get me wrong. Trump is a criminal, and he was a fascist. He is a fascist. He is a racist, and he's definitely bad for the country. But Biden has had it far longer. He did the same thing with Hillary Clinton. He's done it for every time. And, he's, that and this whole new thing with basically saying, oh, people that are not vaccinated should be basically ostracized from society, should be he's virtually saying segregating the vaccinated and unvaccinated. And in his interview with Primo Radical, he's like saying, Primo asked him, so how are people? So what are people to do that are unvaccinated and so on and so forth? How will they? And Chomsky, how will they manage? Chomsky says that's it's up to them to do what they can. And it's like, and this guy is supposed to be a critical thinker. He's supposed to be This guy's a critical thinker, and he's supposed to be this intellectual, supreme intellectual, but he misses the obvious. When the means of production, when the ownership of the lands, resources, as well as money and finances and economy is in the hands, is not in the individual hands of the people, and you are forced to be in this dynamic. What can you do? What can you do in this system? Virtually nothing. Because if the so-called policymakers in leadership, as well as all the other apparatus of the government, decides that you can't live in the woods and live off the land, right? Then how are you going to be able to do it? I mean, I believe I posted a video about a time when I've had a few times where I was jobless and homeless, and it's like I was camping out in a out of the way place in Canton, Massachusetts, and somebody called the police because they saw a tent and me in there. They just happened upon me, and it's like there was no. I wasn't trashing the place. I wasn't doing all this other stuff, and I was just in a tent with my dog. And the police came in and basically rousted me out of there. Okay, so this is what I mean. We don't have ownership, and we can't go freely wherever we want. If somebody complains and the police respond, they can push you out, even though you're not doing anything. You just simply and it was mostly wooded, an out of the way place. So this whole idea that you can just take care of yourself, and so on and so forth, and add in the fact that you're going to make basically unvaccinated basically almost like a criminal element. That's just the most idiotic, stupid, and completely unintelligent thing to even consider. Like, I'm unvaccinated, but the reason I'm unvaccinated is for a couple of reasons. One is that I have health issues that would getting vaccinated would have probably severe negative outcomes for me. Two is that I would be vaccinated, but I don't want to be vaccinated by the mRNA spike protein vaccines, which are not proven. And the old proven technique of using a mostly dead virus and producing an inactivated virus that will stimulate your body to create antigens. That's how a lot of the stuff, like measles and all that other stuff, and as well as what is it? Crap, I can't think of the. Anyways, this is an old established technique and technology which has been proven to work, and the reason why there are issues right now with the this current virus is because of many factors. One of the major factors is not doing the lockdowns. It's not. It's this off and on and not tracking and tracing and not investing. Like the Chinese have that inactivated, but they're still working on the new mutations. And so with the way the U.S. and West have been doing it, they keep leaving the door open for mutation after mutation after mutation. They're not tackling it in a way that will flatten the curve, that will actually address the social as well as the health issues. And that's because it's capitalism. Capitalism makes it so that those who have the means of production and control are the ones who get the financial and monetary gains, and thereby the power and influence and control. And so Noam, who's supposed to be an anti-capitalist, who's supposed to be this great thinker, he's demonstrating that he's a fraud. And I'm almost thinking that he's a manufactured intellectual. And unfortunately, there's been too many times where these famous people, it turns out they were manufactured. They're not genuinely what they're claimed to be. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. I really wish everybody would be like, I'm through with this. I'm through with this. I'm through with this. I'm through with this. And decide that they all come together and work together and start fluffing off all this other nonsense, which gets in the way of actual liberty, freedom, equality, justice, and so on and so forth. And I think we've forgotten how to be forceful in protecting ourselves collectively. We've allowed the cons and criminals and to take over and run our lives. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not freedom. That's not liberty. That's not justice. That's not anything. All it is slowly killing and taking away all of our all the potential we have.